But speaking of the Nets, we have another guy leaving the Nets. Jeff Green next year has decided to go to the Denver Nuggets. A 2-year deal, $10 million. The Nets do still have their big three. Malika Andrews reporting this next season.
It's about time.
Right? Okay, so given that the Nets will not have Jeff Green anymore, but they do have those other big three guys we've mentioned just a couple hundred million times, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. When we are looking at what is happening with these two clubs we're discussing in this segment, whether it's the Nets or the Lakers, with their big three of LeBron, AD, and now Russell Westbrook, Perk, who do you think has the more formidable big three?
You know what? I got to give the edge to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Wow.
And here's why. Because they have Anthony Davis. I think he's the deciding factor between why I would go with the Los Angeles Lakers. We're talking about a guy that, when healthy, he dominates both ends of the floor. When you look at the Brooklyn Nets, we're talking about a team that's just giving you all offense and Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. But when you look at the Lakers, all right, yes, you have LeBron James, and yes, you have Russell Westbrook, but Anthony Davis is different. Anthony Davis is a guy, when he's on his best game, that could give you 40 points, 18 rebounds, and he could give you 5 or 6 blocks along with 4 steals. So his impact on the game on the defensive side of things which is why I lean more towards the Los Angeles Lakers.
I'm a Laker fan at heart, but I'm going to have to disagree with you. I'm leaning more towards the Brooklyn Nets. One, because of age, and then two, because their 3 stars shoot the ball. Shoot the ball with great accuracy, and normally James Harden is very durable, so his injury this year hopefully was a fluke. Hopefully he'll be back to his normal stuff. Kyrie's been in and out, but most of the time you can count on Kyrie. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. He's proven who he is time and time again. But this team is a little bit younger, and they can shoot the ball. So when they're trying to find pieces, it's just more pieces that I think are going to be more suitable and easier to find than the Lakers need. A lot of shooting to help stretch this floor out, and it's a little bit harder to find guys that you can find guys that can shoot, but can they give you anything on that other end as far as the defensive accountability comes? So there's a lot of shooters on the market still that are coming in for the vet minimum, but can they give it to you on both sides? I think the Brooklyn Nets have a lot more firepower in their big three than the Lakers do, with an aging Lakers big three.
Yeah, man, I'm totally with you, because look, not just all the points you made, which are salient, but they already had a season to figure this out. Any redundancy there was between Kyrie Irving and James Harden has already kind of been figured out in the wash, and now they have that to build on. That's their standard, and they can only get better. Obviously, the health is a factor, but they are a younger group, and there's no glaring deficiency like Russell Westbrook brings to the table as a three-point shooter who is errant way too often from the outside. The Lakers, we know, struggled from the outside last year, 21st in the league in three-point percentage. Russell only shooting about 31%. In the playoffs, that becomes glaring, and you don't get that with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, maybe the 3 best shooters together of any team in the league right now.
I'm going to say the Nets for now, for the same reason you just outlined, Dave, which is essentially they've had some time to figure this out, but I don't know. I kind of like the Lakers' big three, just in the sense that, I'm fascinated to see how this is going to work. Okay, but Russell Westbrook is one of the hardest workers in the game. Like, there's great stories early in his career of him and KD trying to beat each other at the gym in the morning. They would get there so early. It was like they had to top each other. And like the staffers who had to work out with them, they come on, guys, it's like 5 in the morning.
Don't take Russell's parking spot.
Yeah, don't take his parking.
That the hard way.
That was an amazing story. LeBron's like that too. You see his Instagram videos and his working out at 5, 6 in the morning, whatever it is. I have these visions of LeBron and Russ and that like Top Gun beach volleyball scene, and they're like so competitive.
Wow, Ramona, that's very descriptive. Go ahead.
They're so competitive. Those two guys are so competitive, and they're such hard workers. I think they're really going to push each other. And these are both 30-somethings, so the chance at a ring. This will be good for Anthony Davis. I think it's good to have that.
I totally agree with that.
I think there's a lot of fire under Anthony Davis, kind of show him a day-to-day how these guys are supposed to, like you said, Russ is the heart and soul. LeBron is incredible, but I just think both those guys' work ethic, the ways to be a pro, because you out here, obviously in LA, you hear things about AD and the way he likes to move, and to me, that's just being young and kind of understanding the landscape. You got 2 consummate pros lighting a fire under you, and to me, it's a great problem to have. either big three.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
taking either.
Yes, absolutely. I got to work this crank one more time. Yes, because boom, yeah. Another deal is done, according to Woj. Gary Trent Jr. heading back to Toronto. 3 years, $54 million. And this is interesting, of course, on the Toronto side. Masai Ujiri wheeling and dealing again.
Yep.
And interesting, of course, on the Portland side. The development here with Portland and what kind of team we're getting for Dame and sort of where this roster is going to shake out, it is going to be fascinating.
Yep.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.